I will share crowdfunding for financing startups. What is crowdfunding actually, and whether we have any opportunities to introduce this market-based technology for the banking system and at the same time to finance young startups or maybe innovation type projects. So this is our discussion agenda today. I will just discuss what is crowdfunding. So crowdfunding background, just I will tell you, and then major models following some types. And then my major focus will be Japanese crowdfunding model. And also we will check whether this can be introduced in Bangladesh or not. I received Japanese government grant in aid for researching on this crowdfunding. And also I have a book published here, and you can just see this book through internet also. Here just I want to show you, if you want, this is the book, Crowdfunding, Lessons from Japan's Approach, and you can see here my name, background. Now let us check here. What is, crowdfunding and why we need it? So these are some problems of our commercial banks. Already you know it. We have some problems with the stock markets. Just key information I have pasted here so that you can understand. We have collateral problem, uncertainty, so many other things. Because we are talking about this crowdfunding model not for mature industries. We are talking this crowdfunding model for startups, young SMEs. So that's why these young startups or SMEs have some problems with, certain cash flows. They do not have. They have uncertainties in their business. And also there are a lot of information asymmetries we have there. So that's why we can see that these are the main problem that actually impeding commercial banks to extend finance to this sort of young startups. And this is a systematic problem, in fact. The stock market also, we have problems, and these are the, groups like business angels, venture capitalists, credit guarantee schemes. We have Grameen Bank, NGOs, specialized markets in Japan. We can see Hercules, Mothers, but these are not very, attractive to finance this young startups or innovation type project. So that's why we basically we are looking for what could be an alternative market-based financial tool for startups. Startups meaning that maybe the life of this business is just 1 year. Okay, so we are thinking how we can help these young entrepreneurs. And then we found that this crowdfunding is basically an alternative tool. And this is a market-based financial tool because this will be based on our website, definitely, and we are going to use our internets. So it is based on internet technology. So that's why we say that this is market-based financial tool. And this technology appeared just after the US subprime mortgage crisis. Why so? Because that the 2007 mortgage financial crisis in the US made the banking system very tight, actually. So the lending policies became very strong and tight for the startups because startups are usually uncertain. So American policymakers said that you must use this codified, credit risk assessment device. And also you should not extend finance to uncertain projects. So that's why many young startups and SMEs in the US faced severe problem, especially after the subprime mortgage crisis, which affected the banking industry seriously. Hopefully you know all of this. So then one American professor, basically, he introduced this concept to finance young startups. Previously, these young startups were getting financial support from the banking system. However, after this financial crisis, basically banks were reluctant to extend finance to this sort of SMEs. So that's why this professor developed, and this is the key areas. It is a digital financial intermediation. Well, financial intermediation, what is this? Whenever, there is a buyer and seller on financial products, we call it financial intermediation. Not that bank is a financial intermediary only, right? Wherever, you are just giving finance, we can say this is a financial intermediation. It is taking everywhere. So it is a digital financial intermediation because we are using internet technology. We will use our social media, and then we will try to connect people and then give finance. So that is basically digital financial intermediation. And it is based on definitely our technology, internet technology. And we will use social media or any other apps we can use. And our target is here that we will target mass people. Mass people meaning that we are not asking some people just deposit money here, not that. We are basically asking everyone living in Bangladesh, outside Bangladesh, in this world, wherever they are living, no problem, just to help us by giving a small amount of money. Say only 100 taka, like that, only 100 or maybe 500 taka, like this. So we are just asking these mass people contribute some money, and our objective is basically to accumulate this money and then disburse this fund to the desired people. So we are using our social media or any other internet platforms, we can say, and then our objective is to raise big amount of money, definitely, but in a smaller unit. So you should not be confused it with microcredit. This is not microcredit. Okay, because microcredit meaning that they are giving a small amount of money to the people who needs it. But in this case, actually, we are collecting a small amount of money from the general people. And then we are giving, a larger amount of finance. So that's why it is not microcredit. So you should be clear about that. And then you can see that it basically gives more freedom to the use of funds. Why? Because I am going to give you funds and you will utilize it. So those who will initiate this fund, they will disburse this fund to the desired entrepreneurs. And the entrepreneurs will be given full freedom. You use it. Okay. And in this case, then the cost of finance will be more, cost of finance will be less compared to traditional finance. Why? Because we are not, going to have an office, big office, and we do not need many people there to work. So we can substantially reduce our administrative cost. And also, soon you will see how it works. We can reduce the risk and uncertainties in intermediating finance because the screening functions of the borrower will be given to the mass people. So I will discuss this issue. This is a serious issue actually, because in economics, we call it transaction cost. So whenever we are designing any new tool, we would like to see whether this tool is cost effective or not. So transaction cost is very important concept in economics. And here we can see that this tool can reduce transaction cost substantially. So one of the main problem in the banking system for selecting good borrower is to understand, right? To get information whether he or she is good or bad. But it is very difficult to get all those information. In this case, definitely you will see that we can get millions of information, from different people without paying anything. So that's why it reduces transaction cost. So we have other implications, theoretical implications. I will not focus on this, but the key point is that crowdfunding is based on internet technology, and definitely there are people who are willing to pay money, and there are good people who will accumulate this money. And we call them crowdfunding platform. We need a platform. Once we have a platform, then definitely we can do it. I repeat again, we need good people, honest people. Otherwise, this technology will be misused. So definitely we are going to introduce this crowdfunding tool for the good people. Okay. Otherwise, this will create a disaster. This is what I said previously, that crowdfunding is not microfinance. Crowdfunding facilitates finance. So you need money, I am going to help you. And in fact, we are doing it, maybe not in an organized way. In an unorganized way, we are basically doing crowdfunding, truly speaking. So we can discuss this once I finish it. I will give some time to you so that we can discuss. And these are all theoreticals on how it works. This is, product life cycle. This is basically our seed stage. You are investing here, then you have the growth stage. And once you are growing, then bank basically comes and then give you finance. So role of bank is here actually. Before this, we have, substantial years here. So during this time, we need people who can extend finance. Otherwise, the entrepreneur cannot grow actually. So we need seed stage, financing. So in this seed stage, we have venture capital, we have business angels. However, we find that this crowdfunding is very important here to finance in the seed stage. Very important here. Okay. And these are the types of crowdfunding actually. You can see here community and financial return. This is basically helping people. As I said, that crowdfunding is still in Bangladesh. For example, there is a patient, he needs open heart surgery. He is a poor guy and he does not have money. So what we are doing, we are accumulating fund, asking friends, okay, donate some fund. This is crowdfunding. So we are then accumulating funds, and then we are basically giving it to this patient. So in that case, we call it donation-based crowdfunding. So we are accumulating and then we are giving. So this is popularly, called community-based crowdfunding. We are helping people. So this is our social work we are doing. Definitely we are doing in Bangladesh too. And here we have this type donation or reward-based, we call it. Theoretically, we call it, but here the purpose is to help, not to, earn money, not to actually run business. Here, our objective is to help you. You have some problems, we are going to help. And our expectation is not that, we will return the money that you are giving to us, not that. So that's why this is totally social purpose, totally social purpose. Our objective is here, financial return. And here we can see that we can give loan or we can give actually capital. So that's why we call it lending model or peer-to-peer model or equity model. Equity meaning that I will give you the equity. You need finance, okay, I will give you equity. And then you will return it with the dividend. Similarly, I will give you fund for 3 years or 5 years, and you will return it with a fixed interest rate or maybe a flat rate that we will, decide, depending on our discussion. So we have basically then two types here. One is lending and the another one is equity. And our discussion will be based on this financial return model. Okay, if you want to look at the major crowdfunding platforms in the world, then you can see these are famous crowdfunding platforms: Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Just Giving, GoFundMe, Lending Club, and where they are financing. This is their industry focus, the model they are using, the services they are doing. They are taking setup here and the country. So I will not actually focus on this because these are available on internet. This is a summary. So you can have a look if you want. Just go through their websites. This is the model. Just I want to tell you, you can develop this model. What is this? Very simple. We call it self-initiative crowdfunding. Just today, you are using your own social media, say Facebook. You create a group. And then in this group, this is your own platform. We are just telling you that your new group name is basically your platform. And then you are inviting people that, okay, be the member of this new group. What is the purpose of this new group? Okay, the purpose of this new group is to help maybe a young entrepreneur. So maybe he has some innovative ideas. You found that this is very good. So we need to help him. So I am going to collect some money, and I am telling the people that this is the objective of this project. This is the advantage. So be the member of this group. And then later on, we will ask them, okay, can you contribute? So that is basically very simple self-initiative crowdfunding. Okay, then we are thinking that why not 2 or 3 people can create a platform? If we can create a platform means this is basically internet-based institution. We have a bank, obviously, but we are telling here this is crowdfunding platform. Platform is created by a group of people, not just you. The objective is that if some good people are there, they have social networks. So soon we will see there will be many members, in that group. And then we can easily, provide finance. So that is our idea here, and we call it independent crowdfunding platform. So here it is CFPs, means crowdfunding platforms. And here our objective is to find people who will contribute us, and at the same time, actually this is fund suppliers and then fund seekers, meaning we will match these 2 groups. So crowdfunding platform is basically a media where 2 people, 2 sides, one is fund suppliers and another one is fund receivers. So entrepreneurs here, they will just interact each other, and then they will conduct financial transaction. This is very simple way we can do it. So here you can see how basically this model works. This simple one, just I made it so that you can understand how it works. So here is the crowdfunding platform account. This is online account. And you can see here, this is our crowdfunding platforms, right? And crowdfunding platforms create individual client account and asking people to put money here. So we have here lender and we have borrower. So this lender is putting money here, and then crowdfunding platform people are basically disbursing it to the borrower. We call it loan origination. And then borrower is paying definitely this crowdfunding platforms online, means this client account. And then from here, the crowdfunding platform is basically, paying money to the lender. Very simple. So you are basically, matching these 2 people. In the middle, you are here. And you can say that, why should I do it? Okay, you will do it for a fee. So you will say that, okay, if you come to this platform, then you have to give me 5% or 3% of your total raised finance as services. So that will be your income. So in this case, then we can see that borrower is very happy because he is getting money, and also lender, who will be the lender, we will discuss later on. So this lender will be also very happy because the lender is mass people here, and they are giving just, for example, only 100 or maybe 500 taka. So that's why this is not a serious issue for the lender. But if the project is successful, then the lender will get higher return. That is the idea here. And if you look at the, technologies that received venture capital financing, and now we are discussing about crowdfunding, then you will see we have this Google, we have Uber, we have this Microsoft, we have even all the apps that we know, even Alibaba.com, if you know. Then you will see that these institutions, they received actually finance from the venture capitalist, and then they became, the richest one in the world. And crowdfunding also helping to these people. So now you can see that whenever you are lending for future. So basically you are lending, a small amount, but then later on you could get huge amount of money. That is the idea here. And where is the bank involvement? In this case, definitely we have a bank here, client account, because it will be maintained in the bank. But we have some other model. They said that, okay, these crowdfunding platforms will now give the responsibility to the bank. Say, for example, now you can open a crowdfunding window in your bank. And then in this window, this is a separate window. As we have Sharia banking, we have many other like this window, right? So that will be a crowdfunding window in your bank, and you will manage this fund on behalf of the lender and borrower for a fee. So you are managing the fund, nothing else. So this is the the idea for notary model where crowdfunding platforms is involving a bank, and the bank will perform all those jobs for a fee. Okay. The same thing is happening here, that we are now accepting equity. Equity meaning that here we are accepting capital. We are not asking you to give loan. Give just equity. Again, same thing. Say we need 10 lakhs taka at the beginning. So we are going to divide this whole 10 lakhs, for example, into 100,000 shares, or maybe, okay, 100,000 shares, fine. Then if it is 100,000 shares, we need 10 lakh. Then easily we can say that if you pay 10 taka per share, then it's fine, 10 taka per share. So you are buying now share. If you buy 10 share, basically you will pay us 100. If you buy 1,000 share, you will give us 10,000, like that. So this is here. And how it works actually, now you have a responsibility. You have a display board on the internet in this crowdfunding platform, because this is a separate institution, as I said. And we will go their display board, and in the display board, they will show the firm name, investment target, equity offered, unit price, amount investment, number of investors there, progress, investors location, and there will be a section called question and answer section. As I said previously, that this tool is more powerful than the traditional screening method that 2 or 3 bank officers may be jointly doing. Why? Because look at this question and answer section. Here, everybody will read, everybody will know about this borrower, right? The entrepreneur. And they will start passing comment there. So we then get good information, bad information about this borrower, because these borrowers now are screened by thousands of people from their local community, other people, friends who have interactions. And we can get good, feedback from here. And definitely it is a software. So in this software, automatically we will get the average score. Based on this average score, we know how people are thinking about this borrower or this entrepreneur, whether he will be a good person or whether he will be a bad person. And based on this, then our next strategy will be to go for campaigning. We call it fund campaign. First we post it, then we get reaction, and then we go for campaigning fund. Usually fund campaign period is 1 month. Within this 1 month, means 4 weeks, we basically try to raise fund. So this is the core concept. Now you can obviously design many other things inside. And obviously you are getting, the borrower is getting equity here, and it is the responsibility of the borrower to give good return to the investor. Maybe at the beginning they cannot, but the return will be much higher. Let me just tell you, because this is a very big concept. Once he will grow and he will be enlisted in the stock market, then definitely your 100 shares will be very, what should I say? Very worth. They will give you, these 100 shares will give you maybe some, lakhs of taka, like that. So we have this concept, as you know. If we want to make money, definitely we have to invest pre-investment stage, pre-IPO stage. So if you invest in pre-IPO stage, then definitely you will get the advantages. So later on, your maybe 100 share will be like 10,000 shares, and you will have very big amount of money. So that is the idea here. You have to wait, then you will get. There are other things also. Once we know this, basic crowdfunding model, hopefully you understood. Now we would like to check what Japan's crowdfunding model is. Japan is a unique country, maybe you know. Japan is different from the US. Although Japan follows US, but it's different from US. And here we have this model. We worked on this music security. This is a crowdfunding platform. So practically, we went there and then we collected information and we checked their model. What is their model? And I found that this model is very good for the for Bangladesh case, truly speaking. Why? You can see the upper portion. This upper portion is simple, what I discussed. But this portion is very important to understand. So what is this? This crowdfunding platforms maintains very good or close relationship. This is close relationship with local banks. This means that bank is not doing the crowdfunding activities. Crowdfunding platform is doing crowdfunding activities, but with the help of the local banks. What does it mean? It means that there are many good, borrowers, but because of collateral problem, because of security problem, or maybe uncertainties, the bank cannot extend finance. So this then the bank official basically recommending this candidate borrower to the music securities. So music securities have close relationship with these local banks. Music securities, the office is in Osaka, and they have 27 local banks there. And they are, at that time when we worked, actually they had the relationship with 27 local banks. And these local bank officials always recommending, meaning sending the clients to the music securities, saying that this is a good candidate, we cannot finance, so can you finance? So music securities is basically taking clients from the bank, not directly. Directly, I mean from the market. So this is, the different aspect or different ways of crowdfunding compared to the US. In the US, there is no local banks, direct. People are directly going there. But in the case of Japan, Japan is basically asking the local banks to supply the good candidate. And then this, once the local banks recommend it, then music securities actually accept this and then post their proposal to music securities website. Okay, here. So we can see then music securities are basically receiving candidate from the local banks, then posting it. Okay, very good. And also here you can see that this, local farms, very important concept actually. These local farms first receive finance from the crowdfunding platform. Later on, the local banks also provide finance. Why? Because now they have substantial amount of money, collateral. So later stage, local banks take the responsibility of financing. That is very important concept. First, crowdfunding platform is providing finance. Once the borrower is graduating, then local banks actually giving finance. So this borrower becoming the client of the local banks after 3 or 5 years. So Japan always focuses on long-term relationship. This is Japanese model. They always think long-term, not, right now, what would be their benefits, not that. So that is a unique concept. And also in Japan, they have local government. So Japanese government wants to promote innovation, wants to promote startups. And in every city, they have city government. In Bangladesh, we call it, for example, Union Parishad. We call it here city office. Shiakshu, they call it. So in city office, they have also fund given by the local government. So once music securities select any potential farm, provide finance, government also provides some finance to this farm. So now you can see a potential borrower is getting finance from government, at the same time crowdfunding platform, and later stage when they need finance, then local banks also participating in this process. So this is a very unique concept where local banks, government, and crowdfunding platforms are jointly working to promote entrepreneurial farms. So that is very important, it seems. And you can also see here that this music securities performs public relation functions for a fee. And usually, definitely, music securities charge their fees. So basic fees means service charge. It varies 3%, 2%, 5%. Then later on, the question is how this firm is performing. Who will actually check whether the firm is really doing well, taking public money or not? So it is the responsibility now given to the music securities that you collect necessary financial reports. You actually monitor them and you post all this information to the crowdfunding platform so that the general people can see it. So this is basically the idea. Now, once you know the idea, you can simply extend it. For example, what they are doing now, they are also use this model called crowdfunding asset securitization model. In the previous case, now you can see music securities are basically providing support to maybe thousands of entrepreneurs. Now they have a big network, and with these entrepreneurs, later on, they can create fund, and this fund can be invested in actually in the equity market directly. Now we are, incorporating this crowdfunding model to our traditional stock market. And how is this? Actually, we have a lot of funds here, and this fund can be transferred to another institution. We call it a special purpose vehicle. Maybe if you have a class here, venture capital, or maybe we have asset securitization, then you will see how asset securitization works. So this is basically here. Asset securitization meaning that somebody is taking the responsibility of realizing the bad assets. So like this. So here we are transferring this one, and then based on this pool of funds, basically we are issuing a new equity to the market. So this is derivative finance basically here. Derivative finance meaning that you have a new finance model, finance product based on another product. So that's why it is called derivative. It is not actually the prime one. So here we can also do this. We can issue a bond, for example, here, and that bond will be purchased by investors. Well, so we are now incorporating this one in our traditional stock market. So it will be very big. So this is the music securities. Let me just tell you, because this is a case, it will give you some idea. The music securities owner was Masami Komatsu. And basically he was a musician, basically he was it. So he wanted to compose all of his musics, and he doesn't have money. So that's why what he did actually, he asked his fan that I do not have money, but we have very good music here. So I want to save all those copies for future generation, but I do not have money. So I want to create a CD for our music. So can you help us giving some money? So his fan basically gave him money, and that's why in 2001 basically he created this music CD production company. Basically his objective was to save or preserve his own musics, not others. So that was his objective. But he entered in this business model in basically 2007. I didn't mention here. In 2007, when one of his friends introduced a good sake. Sake means actually wine farm for giving a possible help. So in Japan, actually, people like to take wine here. So there are different types of wines in Japan, very cheap also. And to produce a good wine, it needs at least 3 to 5 years, at least. But the bank cannot actually give 3 years grace period. It is impossible. So that's why his friend introduced this local, wine producers to this, Komatsu-san. Komatsu then, just accepted his proposal, and he asked his fan, can you provide finance to these wine producers, because he need. Then his fan also, provided finance to these wine producers. And what was the condition of the fund? Condition was that, if the wine producer is successful, then wine producer will give them one bottle of wine at a free of cost, and at the same time there will be a certificate that you are the founder of this company, like that. This is an appreciation. So it was basically donation based on that. You give me money, whatever you can, but I am not going to return it. I can return it if I am successful, like that. So truly speaking, this was the first, the project, and it was successful. And the fund providers got not only one bottle of wine, they received actually two bottles of wine, and everybody contributed just 1,000 yen. 1,000 yen in Bangladeshi taka, at that time it was around 700 taka. So that basically they contributed, but in return they get more than 5,000 because the two bottles of wine cost more than 5,000 taka, like that. So anyway, this was the stories. And then when we visited in 2014, at that time we can see there are 256 funds, meaning each fund means, you understand, a company. So we have these 256 funds, and you can see here that the registered members of this was 70,000 people. So 70,000 people, they become the members of these music securities. And you can understand here that if they pay even only 100 here, then it is actually 70 lakhs, right? If everybody pays 100 yen, then it becomes 70 lakh. So this is huge amount of money. So that's why they, they actually provided finance. And other data is here. Fund period is 3 to 10 years, funding period. And this is basically the returns. Some is not successful, some is successful. So at that time, basically, we didn't have long years of data. So whatever we had, just we put here. But the overall concept is that more than 50%, 58% cases, actually, they generated positive return at the initial stage. Then later stage, we need to check, we didn't do it. But we know that many of them are really doing very well. Okay, so what is basically our lessons here? That from the Japan case, that they made relationship with local banks, right? And obviously we understood that by having very good relationship with local banks, they can get good actually borrowers, because the first screening is done by the bank officials. And then we have the transaction cost. Already we know that thousands of people are screening, so we can save money. And also we have it reduces investors' moral hazard. These are theoretical concepts again from economic side, no need to focus right now. If you are interested, then you have to study. And also we can see that here, later stage local banks also perform the role of a quasi monitor, because they also provide finance. First stage music securities or crowdfunding platform. Most importantly, local government also plays a supportive role in providing finance to the firm at a lower cost if it carries a national interest. So Japan government has some priority areas, and if you are interested in doing business in that areas, then the government provides cheap finance to the borrowers. Okay, here are some research. Actually, when I worked on this at that time, I also had interview with some bank officials in Bangladesh and also some entrepreneurs. And then what I got actually at that time, I am going to show you. This is the potential in Bangladesh, definitely, because this is an emerging economy, 6+ GDP growth rate, many young people without jobs, very high internet exposure we have, and government is very positive. Government wants, entrepreneurship. Financial markets not good. Business angel and venture capitalists we do not have. So we have we have opportunities to introduce this one. And here is the small firms actually we interviewed here. Agribusiness, medicine, drugs, information technology, total 270 firms I interviewed. And then basically I asked whether you know crowdfunding or not. So you can see actually they do not know. Only information technology, those who are doing business on internet, So they know about this, but most of them, they do not have any idea. But I think now the situation changes because almost it is 8 to 10 years. So maybe there is positive feedback from the market. And here is by bank officials. So I went to BIBM. Definitely, I was actively involved. Whenever I go to Bangladesh, I offer classes to BIBM. So that's why uh, I asked our bank officials like you whether you know or not. So these are the responses from different banks, and they said yes, like that, no. So anyway, basically not good, we know, because maybe bank officials don't have time to read what is going on. That's why you need to come to BIBM to know what is the, current developments. That is the responsibility of BIBM to give you latest information. Okay, and well, what is the policy remarks? Once we finished our project and was especially focused on developing countries, then we thought that we should write this for policy implications. Like you can see here, that we must ensure trust and security in the operation of crowdfunding platforms by formulating necessary laws and regulations. Why is this? Because in our country, there are a lot of bad people actually. So they will accumulate fund and then maybe they will disappear. So that's why it is very difficult. It is not like Japan, everybody is very honest. So we must have necessary laws and regulations, we think. And then we think that this relationship-based crowdfunding model is good for Bangladesh, but it needs to be, incorporated by NGOs and local banks. So we need to incorporate NGOs and local banks, otherwise we cannot get good candidate. And bank can open a separate window, definitely, for crowdfunding services for a fees. And we focus that we have a lot of funds in the Islamic or Sharia related banks, and they can take this zakat money, a portion of zakat money, actually to provide finance to this entrepreneur as a first step. Then also we think that this DCCI, we have Dhaka Chamber of Commerce and Industry, FBCI, we have SME Foundation, and we have also this one. They can also take the responsibility to familiarize crowdfunding. And then Bangladesh Bank and World Bank can provide initial support, because at the very beginning, people will not believe. We have a lot of bad experiences because there are so many companies that basically took money and disappeared. So that's why even Destiny One. So that's why it is very difficult to restore trust, especially from the people who will receive money, not from the borrower side. It is basically from the people who will raise finance. So that's why we think that Bangladesh Bank and World Bank should come at the very beginning. Otherwise, maybe it is difficult. So that was basically my discussion. We have some issues for discussion. Those who want to study more, like crowdfunding, whether it is good or bad, whether it can reduce agency cost or not, and how we can create a link between microfinance, commercial banks, and crowdfunding platforms. Later stage, how venture capitalists or maybe business angels can be incorporated to provide this sort of innovative type finance, and how then we can incorporate it to our stock market. So these are serious issues for discussion. Those who are interested, you can actually think of it. So that is basically my discussion.